plant another seed, and then it just keeps going like that. And wouldn't that be cool? Contractors wouldn't like it too much, but I think it'd be, I think it'd be great nonetheless. Oh no, well you'd still design it. You'd design the genetics though.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Oh.
Psych.
I don't know if anybody went to the USGBC, the emerging architects, and some of the kids there, I mean that's you, I'm an old person, and what can I tell you? They had some of the most incredible, far-sighted visions of energy and how to create buildings. I mean, I really, really recommend going on to the USGBC website and just taking a look at like visionaries and how they encapsulated energy. I mean, it was just amazing, and it was just so thrilling for me when I am, caught within the old guard and the new guard, which is so many people here, that it's fascinating. I just love it.
One last question, unless you guys have more. There's a mishmash of certifications out there. Oh, questions from the audience. Blue shirt. What products or buildings would you like to see phased out?
I don't understand why we're still saying high VOC paints. It's almost like they're saying, listen, we know this will kill you, but we offer, look, a lower VOC, it'll kill you slower, but pick and choose, and maybe we'll charge you more for this for no reason. That's really what they're doing. Vinyl is the most toxic material known to man. We call it the poison plastic for a reason. That should go. And we banned formaldehyde here in California, and we should be banning it across the country. 1 in 10,000 Californians will develop cancer from formaldehyde exposure, which seems a little nuts to me. And all petroleum-based products while we're at it. But we worked with a roofing manufacturer, and when oil prices were skyrocketing, he was then suddenly willing to switch over to soy. And it turned out the soy was cheaper than the petroleum and saved him money and made a better product. And the best thing he could have said was, God, I wish I'd done this 10 years ago. So that to me is really that people have to get out of their mindset that it has to be made out of oil and that we're stuck in this loop. And most people don't know to ask.
I just want to also add into, I read this incredible article in the New York Times 2 days ago, and I read this incredible article in the New York Times 2 days ago, and in their science section. I mean, if people don't get the New York Times on Tuesdays, pick it up. I mean, they have a science section that's to die for. They, let's see, too much wine, sorry. Anyway, what they're working with, Dow Corning is now working with another group of people working with algae to make plastics that are non-petroleum based. They are really making these capsules that will capture carbon dioxide and make more products without the utilization of fossil fuels. I mean, it is incredible what the future is having for us. I say to everybody, keep reading, because things change daily. Every product changes weekly, monthly. I mean, it's amazing. Sometimes I am so inundated with emails of new technology that's being promoted and that people are working on. It's just mind-boggling. And what's different now than when I first started is that they actually have the tests to back them up. And that's what's so wonderful. And so you can trust for longevity in the long run, which is great.
That leads me to the last thing I'd like to discuss, unless someone else had a question. Fire away.
Well, this may be a little nebulous, but for a lot of us here,
Everybody, please. We'd like to hear Ted's question. I know everyone has a lot to say, but
for a lot of us here, we're working with individual clients on individual buildings. But what we really need is systemic change, an entire paradigm shift, and we need it very soon. What do you think that we can do in the context of working with individual clients on individual buildings to engender the systemic change that we really need?
everyone get that? What Ted asked is, While we all work with individual clients, we're looking at a system that seems to be broken. I mean, what Eric showed us, that 1 in 2 buildings in California or homes in California will be built by the same 2 builders or 8 builders. That's a system that we either have to change that system or it's going to overrun us. How do you guys feel that we may change the system rather than individual clients? All right, Patty's turn.
Never miss an opportunity to affect change where you are good in what you do. Make sure that everything that you touch and where you can make a change, don't ever miss an opportunity. But listening to Eric speak always inspires me to do better. When I started in this business, I felt like a lone wolf, and I felt like my message was yelled, screamed. Sometimes I felt like I was throwing a tantrum and I couldn't get people to listen to me. Now I feel like I'm part of something. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry.
What we've discovered is that we can't just rely on consumers because it's such an odd idea that we're going to transform the entire industry from the bottom up. So we've been working with manufacturers slowly. We've been working with governments slowly to change the things that have been ongoing roadblocks. Here in California, we have trouble using gray water, the soapy water from sinks and laundry rooms, but we should be flushing our toilets with it because unless I've missed something, none of you are drinking out of the toilet anymore, right? So why aren't we flushing it with soapy water? So we've been working with individual governments one by one, painfully and slowly, to say, just let us try it on this. Let's just test it out on this. Same thing with waterless urinals and waterless fixtures and composting fixtures and rainwater catchment and on and on and on.
So very recently it was illegal to catch your own rainwater.
Yeah, but these things are slowly changing. But now we're looking at kind of a whole spectrum approach from consumers to builders to product manufacturers to governments. And if we make the regulations such that everybody has to do water catchment, then it just gets done. So I'm all for fascism if I'm the one, deciding what gets chosen. So that's what we've been pushing for.
And I support fascism on that level. I just want to say is most people, if you present, you don't need to change them, you need to present. And it's all no matter how you present, what you back up with, how that incorporates your design. It's also hand in hand, and it's also for you to know the information, to be very clear about what's going on, to have all the tools so that you can make those changes for people. Because people want to change, they truly do. It's not like they don't. And it's just, I hate to say it, but when I speak to a lot of my compatriots, who are in my field, so many that have chosen not to move forward are basically, I say, lazy. And it's up to you not to be lazy, to stay